Good morning, everybody.
Grandest of mornings to all.
So we're having some technical difficulties behind the scenes where StreamYard and Google are not getting along right now. So this might be, one of those days.
Just the way it ought to be.
Yeah. We have different hosts today, don't we?
Well, you are the hostess with the mostest.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that. So
Facts be facts.
you told me to put the Squire as your.
Absolutely.
And also, I didn't test to see how loud this was, so apologies in advance if your bird call is breaking headphones right now.
City boy!
Hell yeah. That is the peak of the day right there.
So we have oh, hold on. It hides your name when everything's up. We have Philly Phil here, or the Squire as he has asked to be called this morning.
The Queen and Squire, episode 71.
Episode 71. Yeah, there is one person missing, but he's asked me not to disclose his whereabouts. So good morning, Cookie, Tara, Fabian in quotations. We're not sure if that's his real name. Aaron. No, my God, Leah. Oh, there's a lot of y'all going back and forth this morning, huh?
Let's see. So I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, there's the chat.
Juan's mom is fine this morning, guys. Listen, you know what? I think I'm just gonna mod all of you guys since Voldemort's not here. I'm gonna mod everybody in the chat. Let you guys all mute each other. It's unhip to be Squire.
It's unhip to be Squire. Squire's my life, yo.
Hey, Amanda.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. So I don't hype me up. Don't let's go this because y'all, I don't know what's going on. StreamYard isn't letting me add
the slides and stuff.
Yeah, so what it hold on. Maybe if I try it this way. Yeah, we're doing just sit really still and hold the pages. Oh, Juan said he doesn't mind being a Squire.
JP, oh yeah, Juan. For sure, man. Hey, when you're in the presence of a queen, I would never put myself on the throne and hierarchy of like a king status because it's just not true. And I like to be true. So I'm here to entertain and to serve and also have a good time while doing it.
Oh, you know what? That was kind of rude of me and presumptuous to not. You can, if you wanted to, tell the people a little bit about yourself and where they could find you.
You can finally centrally locate. No, my address is
yeah.
Well, while Elle's figuring out some things there, good morning to everybody. I am Philly Phil. No, I do not live in Philadelphia. I am in
false advertising.
False advertisement. I should have made my name Motown Philly because I'm in the Detroit area, suburbs of Detroit. But I guess just through over time, some people have called me Philly Phil, so it is what it is. But I basically just stay. I don't have any other kind of platforms that I use besides Instagram, as far as for this type of content and whatnot. But I'm at Philly_Phil_ because apparently there's other Philly Phils out in the Instagram world, so I got some people I need to talk to. But yeah, exactly. Some missions have to be sought out after. But no, I'm just super honored and super excited, thrilled to be a guest on this wonderfully fabulous show that is the House of Nerd Sunday mornings. So yeah, other than that, You want me to keep like just rambling, or we
Oh,
good?
no, you're good.
So I'll say, because I can just like ramble for like an hour. It's cool.
Yeah.
As much time as you need, I can just keep going. You know,
I hit the wrong
independent
button.
comic reader. Every so often, I'll catch a DC or Marvel title. Like currently, Marvel, and it's been for I think 2018 is when Chip Zdarsky took over Daredevil. I've been reading Daredevil since then. Rodney Barnes just started The Mandalorian, so that's only 2 issues in. Which I have.
You went real nerd with that one, huh?
Oh,
The Mandalorian.
Hella nerd.
You know
nerd.
what? I can't say nothing because I have been reading Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I don't really have like a deep attachment to Star Wars, but I did like the prequel. Fight me! I did like the prequel trilogy, so
right on.
I do. I'm super into Obi-Wan Kenobi. The comic is really good.
Well, I have the first issue, and then so I'm a big like first issue. Like I'll give like a book a try at least before I can say like, oh, and a positive or a negative thing about it, like without even opening the book. So I did pick up the first issue, you know, month or 2 back. I never read it yet. It's in my, it's in one of those like short boxes of to read lists, which I've been doing. I'm proud of myself at the tender age of 36. I feel like my mom will be proud that I am knocking out some of these built up books of my to read piles. I unintentionally somewhat feels like I took like the summer kind of almost off of reading. So the last like when we were talking yesterday, the last I don't know week or maybe week and a half, I've probably read 20 different comics, which maybe to some is a lot, maybe to some is nothing, but a lot of cluster and chunking. I've been trying to do like 4 to 5 a day or every other day kind of thing. And so with Rodney Barnes, obviously, dude's a mastermind. I love his. I mean, Philadelphia is. We all know that is awesome. But with his take on Mandalorian, I love the Mandalorian as the show. And then once I found out he was going to be the writer of it, I was like, well, I mean, what can go wrong? Issue 1 was real dope. Issue 2 was more just kind of like pictures in a book. There was not a whole lot of content and like dialogue going on, and I'm not gonna knock him for that, but I know it was like last week or 2 weeks ago on House of Nerd, I made a comment in the section about like I like the indies because I feel like one of the reasons is I feel like the creators have more freedom to put like what they want into the said books and not like have like a certain like agenda they have to follow. But I feel like this last issue of Mandalorian, I was like, this is totally not like Rodney Barnes is like all about like his words just bring you into his stories, and this was like it was lacking. My only gripe with it, I mean, other than that, I'm not gonna like call this guy out by any means because he's awesome. But if issue 3 doesn't pick up, definitely gonna be like, well,
I wonder if that's
anymore.
like a Marvel thing too, because his other IPs that he writes for are usually pretty on par, like Army of Darkness and James Bond. They were pretty. They didn't feel like, oh, this is the story we want you to tell. But so I wonder if it's like more of a big 2 thing.
Probably that's kind of like I said, one of the many reasons why I persuade and always like recommending people to give the independent books a try. You know, so. But
what they replaced with Phil, is this a House Divided episode? I wouldn't say divided. I might say we just had a visitor who didn't call before coming, so not everybody was home. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I like that. I like how you put that. Very kindly, very, very politely put that way.
And I was like, oh, you're early. Wasn't expecting you. No. No, everything's cool. But that's what they all say, huh? She said some structural changes. We decided to put some more, diversity into the show.
City boy. Literally, if you want to play that City Boys clip like 30 times throughout while we're doing this, I will not be upset with that because that shit just makes me laugh.
And you know what's funny? The clip is like he says it a couple times, but I was like, no, I need to clip it to the one where his voice cracks because that one kills me.
Yep, for sure. City boy.
Yes. Hold on for the people who just got here. Let's break headphones.
City boy.
It's the lilt at the end that gets
me. For sure.
So I was saying earlier we were having some It's gonna be, you know, a little ratchet this episode. The StreamYard isn't connecting to Google for some reason, so I'm gonna have to go back to the old days, the pre Aldana days, and do share screen. Oh, I think we have. Hold on, let me be professional. I think we have a video to start off Copper Drop. Hold on. Look at that.
I was just jamming. That's a beat there.
I love the ratchetness that the show brings because it's raw material.
Amen.
My lame ass shop forgot to get hard eyes. And you know what? Unfortunate. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Don't look at my tabs if they show. Okay.
It's all right. Oh man, yeah, I never saw that prison cover. That's rad.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I have the hard eyes. There we go. Boom. Professional tech. Boom. I went to ITT Tech on the weekends.
Hell yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry.
You know that did they I'm so curious if, because you know how like the trade schools have like used to have like jingles and stuff. So did you guys have like the ICDC commercials with Lil Romeo?
No, to my knowledge, or to my no. We did not have no Lil Romeo. That's trying to think who we had, because we have ITT Tech out here. Or we did. I don't think ITT Tech's.
Yeah, no, they went.
They bellied up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They owe people some money.
But for sure, yeah. That could be like future content for a comic. I'm sure there's some craziness that went on behind the closed doors. We used to also have Dorsey schools, which were like trade kind of influenced schools of that nature, but definitely no Little Romeo. Like, you know, that's what's up. I remember those commercials. I don't.
Those. Yeah, it's like she said black women in tech. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I dabble in a STEM, if you will. I just remember the dude yelling at me to enroll at Everest. No, yes, the one with Lil Romeo.
I remember that.
it was like a rap too. He was like, "I'm so ICDC." I'm so ICDC. Then he'd be like, college. And it was like, what was the point of this? Like, is this making me want to go here or not go here?
You know what made me really want to go to ICDC? Was Lil Romeo telling me. He spoke to my soul.
Yeah, Lil Romeo. And then he walks away disappointed. The first guy, yeah, he's like, I know I was just talking. He was just talking for a check. You want to know what I look like? What I look at in private on this computer? Nothing. This is not my computer. This is my husband's computer. But you know, and his history is not exciting. Trust me. I'll be clicking on stuff.
I'm just going through comments. So like, probably because I'm on my phone doing this. So like, I have to go. So if it looks like I'm like just zoning out, it's because I'm going to the comment section. Like I can't read it like probably how you can see it. So I have to like click to the comments like actual on the StreamYard. So I'm just trying to get a little somewhat caught up.
Okay.
And I just came across where let's see, me and JP seem to be on the same page here. And then he says, "Phil, your voice should be on the radio for those smooth listening."
Oh yeah, listeners. I threw it up earlier, but I didn't know if you saw it or not.
No, I didn't. I can sleep to your voice, which is good. We need more DJs in the radio. Oh, so you mean I need to be like late night, like pillow talk, like playing like the saxophone type of, like the smooth jazz B98 voice.
He wants you to read his text messages to him.
I'm here to serve. I am the squire.
So we have Heart Eyes, #1 from Vault Comics. Dennis Hopeless, Victor. I Googled how to say his name and I already forgot. Addison Duke and Simon Bolin. It was a book.
Indeed.
This book actually beat what is this? Hold on, I just saw a different cover than the one I have. It looks pretty cool. This book last week beat One Bad Day, the Batman one shot. We'll get into that later because
Okay.
I have thoughts on y'all, but this is described as sanity eating monsters ended humanity. The unlucky few who survive now hide in the cracks of a broken world, and yet somehow beneath the graveyard that used to be San Antonio, Rico met Lupe, the girl of his dreams. But how did she get here, and why is she smiling? No one survives out in the street. No one smiles where the monsters lurk. And just off top, let me tell you about sweet baby Angel Lupe. They wrote her so well, and it's almost unsettling how well they wrote her, because I can't tell if she's naive or if she's like about to just like turn off that facade and just go full on. Throughout the whole story, I was thinking like, oh, waiting for like the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And this was like the first page of the book. Also made me scream because his like handle is motivate Mark, and it's like hashtag motivation Monday. And I'm not a fan of the motivators of the social media era. Just let me, sit in my room in the dark and scroll TikTok without seeing anything trying to make me do something. And oh, what the heck? Phil, I told you to stop clicking on stuff.
Right. My bad. I'll keep my hands where you can see them. My bad.
You're using the eye tracker to so this was really fun to see him just get annihilated off the top. Like, yeah, we don't need any of that motivation which is also interesting later on, because we find out that these are sanity eating monsters and they eat fear essentially. Yep. So what's he going through that he's out here on the outside motivation Monday? You can only imagine the turmoil on the inside.
For sure. Cookie, I adore Lupe. Same. I agree.
Just so sweet. Like, and I think even like how they drew her. Let me see if I have that on the next. Oh no, this is more of she called it the punch, but I'm assuming this is when everything really went to shit.
It looks more kind of like a big bang or like explosion as opposed to like a punch.
Yeah.
So
they even drew her like like real how do I say this? They drew her like real juvenile, but also like obviously very developed. And I think that dichotomy, it runs throughout the whole narrative when it comes to her, because she seems very like sweet and innocent and naive, but there's this lingering like weirdness, like oddness about her.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Like you said, because like the panels you're showing, I got the book in hand here. Definitely, you kind of get like a vibe off the rip that maybe she's like in the, I don't know, the high school stages of life, like 14 through kind of 17 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But she's definitely matured to the eyes.
And that's another thing. No, because I was like, because I don't want to objectify her, but there's a lot of panels where the male gaze is like very much like pulling your eyes in certain areas, especially after she gets like wet. And it's and so it's like, and I'm like, and that's another thing. She's kind of timeless. Like, there's no real big indicator of how old she is. We know that Rico, the boy who falls in love with her, is 17.
Yeah.
But we're not. Couldn't really tell you how old.
I feel like at this point, through the first issue, we just kind of assume that Lupe is of around the same age, and it's just based off of the unknown, so it's an assumption. But we'll definitely, I'm sure, find out maybe in issue 2 or so. Like, or I don't want to give it away, but I mean, I guess it's been almost a week since it came out. But as far as like the conclusion of issue 1, I don't want to really give too many spoilers. And any of that nature thing happens, I'm gonna let Queen Elle be the one to. This is her show. I'm just here to have fun.
Oh, I think. Well, I think this first issue is pretty straightforward. I didn't feel like there was anything that would be too spoilery, to be honest. This
True.
isn't one of those books that is ending on like major cliffhangers.
Right.
So to me, this book is fair game, I feel. So but there was a scene, even they like flash back to when she was a little kid, and she's like, yeah, I was 6 walking the streets by myself at 2 a.m. And I'm like, now I don't know if that's a lack of fear or a lack of awareness, common sense, especially growing up as a minority in San Antonio, you know what I mean? So, and they even kind of depict that because she's like walking saying what's up to the police, and they're like brutalizing, a black man.
Yep.
And she's just like, hey guys. And the cops don't stop. They're like, okay, whatever, little girl. Like, no, it's 2 a.m. Check on her.
Yeah, I liked little thing like so far in this first issue. I mean, obviously I don't like that because it's obviously sad but fucking true. But just like this of what's going on the side, one of our main characters, like you were saying, how Lupe's at that time when they flash back to her being like 6 years old walking the streets, while there's other things going on like police brutality against minorities. I'm just gonna stop there because I don't want to end up punching something around the house here, but little like detail and stuff like that. Like this, I'm not trying to get off subject, but like I just feel like the art, it's very it's vivid, really really good. Like the side scenes, like in like kind of like a distance.
Yeah.
Hey Sheena, good morning and welcome. But yeah, I was kind of getting a little off subject there, but I just like little things like that, especially in like comics and stuff. I think stick out to me as far as like the interior art goes when it's like not just like spotlight on the main character, but the rest of that panel or page when it's got detailed and it's subtle and vivid. Like I respect stuff of that nature.
Oh, for sure. And I think the art in here, the color palettes are so good.
Yeah.
Can I go backwards? Yeah. Even like with the monsters, like it's kind of trippy almost.
For sure.
And I don't even know how to. It almost reminds me of like stained glass, how bulky the lines are, and then with the way the colors kind of just blend into each other. But definitely the art is dope in this one.
For sure.
And the monsters are real trip. You know what I was when I first read this, because I reread it this morning, but the first time I read this was like June or July. And Vault, sometimes they bless us with an advanced copy, super advanced. And so when I first read this, it was right after Human Remains ended.
Okay.
And I felt like this was like a really nice not even a spiritual successor, because Human Remains like fed on the monsters in that fed on extreme emotions, and so it had a really nice conclusion, a really nice wrap up. And so then I read this right after that ended, and this one is about monsters too, but feeding on one particular emotion. So curious to see in what ways the other emotions overcompensate when people find out that it's fear that's the trigger.
Yeah.
Manny's here. Manny, I saw your TikToks. Manny be working out, y'all, on TikTok. So in case you guys wanted to see that kind of content.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out. What up, Manny?
What's up? Sheena has demands. Oh.
What's that?
Sheena says take off your shirt, Phil.
Oh. I mean, rule number 1 of life is do not be scared. Never be scared. Mm-hmm. I'm not scared. I just don't know if you guys have like sunglasses on because this big white gut will blind your eyes. We can make that happen. I mean, make that the
one said he put in his 2 weeks advance notice, which we appreciate. That's funny. Yeah, it's like he plans when he gets pink eye, so it's it's wild. He did it, yeah. And you know, Sheena just assumed that every 2 or 3 weeks there will be a flare up. Oh, it just says Sheena, I want to see you. Oh, I thought because I was still on the take off your shirt comment, and I was like, I don't know if we could air all of this on. There we go. Look, see.
Wow. Okay, I like where this comment section is going. Sunday fun day, right?
Juan says the paperwork came through his department perfectly fine. Juan, that's so funny. Yeah,
Juan's got Sergio's back.
Manny says it's Manny reads comics, but on TikTok it's Manny sweats in comics, and it's like the weirdest. He just like sweats over his books, and it's, I guess there's a niche market for everything, right?
Yeah.
Good morning. And this is one half of the Pole Kings.
Oh yeah, for sure. What up, man?
On our TikTok. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're gonna go like, subscribe, and follow. Is that how TikTok works?
That's how life works nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, follow, like, turn on the notifications. Right.
You know, it's so bad that like my son, like both not my older son but my younger son, he'll tell me a story and then he'll be like and subscribe. Like, get out of here. He's like, can you record me opening this egg? And it's like not real, like it's all imaginary. And I'm just like, well, at least you're using your imagination, because I bought him one of those $30 eggs one time and I promise he doesn't play with any of them. And then he ended up being allergic to the sand in there, so that was not a fun unboxing for him.
Damn.
Off the rails. Yeah, I got a little. Going to start exclusive content on Instagram. Oh, is there a paid tier on Instagram? I know on Twitter you could be like a super follower.
You can earn that online badge.
I think you have to pay. Like you get access to like special tweets. I don't know. I might do that. Would no. Let me stop, because I could probably make some money.
I was literally thinking similar things in my head, and I was just like, don't open your mouth. Just keep it quiet. Don't say nothing.
Sign up for a month for Manny's content type of stuff, yeah. So was this a cop or a drop for you?
I would say it's a cop. I liked it. I think yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out issue 2. I like the way that the issue ended. And then obviously the content in between, from the cover to the back cover. I liked it. I definitely, like I said, will definitely pick up issue 2. So I would definitely lean more towards copying instead of dropping.
Mm-hmm. And I would agree with you.
Yeah, I liked it.
I would agree with you. Now, today is my day for things not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
But you get, like I told you, that's what you get for hanging out with me. It just happens.
Why is, you know what I mean? I just, hold on, because now, you know what? Who cares? Let's just.
If you need me to keep rambling while you're trying to figure shit out, I can definitely do that.
It's just so funny because I promise you, like, I had everything ready to go.
I believe you.
Yesterday, and now today, it's like everything that could possibly not be right is not going how I need it to go. All right, let's see.
Well, I was gonna say about just a quick little more info of Heart Eyes issue 1. I just I liked how Rico, his family, his older sister, his dad, obviously they're in like this very only them type of like surviving family around that they're aware of, but and his sister just seems like she is so like basically use your other head to think, Rico, like you're falling for this girl, this could be trouble, there's more out there, this, that, the other, whatever. And so far homie's like, you know what? Screw you. I'm listening to myself, and I found
Yeah.
what
He
my
said,
mind
live, love, laugh. That's what he said.
exactly. Yep, precisely. So
He
there's
said,
definitely
I'm
just
gonna,
more.
and maybe a little bit of jealousy too, because if they haven't seen anybody in
Yeah.
that long for real, then she probably hasn't had a chance to.
See, exactly. Exactly. And it's like, so like, yeah, there's more to this first issue than just like, these crazy psychedelic monsters, in the punch happening. Like there's enough content in there where I was like, because after I read it, knowing I was going to be on the show with you today, I was like, well, would I recommend this as like going forward, yes or no? And just when there's that much um interior content going on, like I'll definitely pick up issue 2 for sure. So
Yeah. And my only concern with this is I think the same thing kind of happened with when it comes to like stories that lean into heavy emotional stuff, especially with these independents. I always notice that there's like this, big to do when the book comes out, and then like a couple issues in, like I don't hear many people talking, and then I think at that point people are like, oh, this is like a trade pull. And I totally get that, because I know some people, you need to be like high throttle constantly. But
yeah.
I what I appreciate about this book is that it seems like it's gonna, straddle that line a bit more than maybe other books that use emotion
Hmm.
as a villain. So we'll see, but I do enjoy it. It's super. I love the visuals in it. Lupe is love. Lupe is life. Not in that
Agreed.
order. But yeah, it's a cop. And now for this second part, I'm gonna I'm gonna pitch I'm gonna pitch to you. And
Hmm.
I didn't want to put any more work on you last minute. So I'm gonna pitch 2 books. So either way, I'm a winner this week. Um and that's, I feel like that's fair. So
Amen.
my first pitch is, hold on. Oh, put up the wrong one. Don't look at that. Also my pick, End After End. Um David Andre, Tim Daniel, Sanando, Kurt Michael Russell, Jim Campbell. Now this book has technically already won Copper Drop once before. Months and months and months ago. I think it was actually supposed to release last year or super early this year, and it ended up not coming out then. This was another book where I read this book so long ago that they actually were like, let us read issue number 2 already. So, but and one thing I will say about this is it is a fantasy book. I'm not into fantasy, but it's the way every single review I've seen for this has said the same thing. Like, I'm not usually into fantasy, but um and absolutely. So this book is, the synopsis is Walter Willems. That's Willem. I don't know if Leandra's still in the chats, but she at one point called William Defoe, and I can't let her live that down. Walter Willem's end was fast and unexpected. His was an unremarkable life. So how is it that his story continues as cannon fodder in an endless war waged against an insatiable darkness, hell-bent on consuming all of existence? And is Walter right in believing he's arrived in the midst of this titanic battle as the one destined to finally end it? That's the tale of End After End. So basically, you have this guy and his life. It ends on the first page of the book. He's and
Okay.
then he's sent to, like, I guess you would call it like a purgatory. It's not heaven, it's not hell, it's not anything that anybody has ever said before, but basically before before you meet your actual end, you're sent to fight this war. And it's like the title says, it's an end after the end. But is that the end? And it's like a continuing cycle. And so each issue kind of focuses on a different aspect of his hero's journey and like what character role he plays in that. And so it's really cool in that way. And like like the combination of all the different kinds of people from over time, like you have modern soldiers, samurai, Spartans, like all with one common goal. So it's really interesting. It's cool. The characters are intriguing, so I'm into it. This hold on. Now what, girl? Now listen, don't I have the text still. Did she watch She-Hulk? Oh, I did watch She-Hulk and I liked it. Did you watch it yet, Phil?
I did. I watched it yesterday afternoon, and I enjoyed the first episode.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool.
It kind of harped a little bit on some things, but not in a way that took away from the show of what it was. And it absolutely is like, I love that like 90s Ally McBeal, like this is a lawyer show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, okay.
I like the she was I thought that episode was really good. I always appreciate a good fourth wall breaking. She did that multiple times.
Yeah.
I thought Bruce Banner being involved in the first, like I don't know. Unfortunately, I've seen so many people commenting about how it was garbage, it was trash, and whatever. Everyone's got their own opinions, but it just never ends. Like how people are so quick to be negative instead of like positive with stuff. But I thought it was really good. It was entertaining. It was funny. Like, and then at the end of the episode when bam, that scene happened in the courtroom. It's like I liked that first episode. Like, this is just my opinion, but like I never finished watching Moon Knight. I never really got into it.
Guilty.
Me too. Wasn't really my thing. But I can just tell after the first episode of She-Hulk that I'm gonna definitely be tuning in for sure. Like, I'm not sure how long or how many episodes it's supposed to be, but I'll definitely watch it. Like, I thought it was good.
The most
I really liked it.
It was the most entertaining Marvel first episode on Disney Plus that I've seen, where it was a good time. And I think right now in the universe, it's so much heavy stuff and just like constantly like, oh, the world's about to end, and it's just like, okay, and that's cute, but what is Jennifer gonna wear to work today? Like, that's what I'm trying to see. Manny says he's gonna wait. Yeah, and yeah, Fabian, it is rigged. This episode is rigged, and what? Like, what, were you gonna not vote? I guess you could not vote. Not Princess said it was cute. And you know what?
Oh, what up, Anika?
That's fine too. I thought it was, and I think I really liked Dan Slott's run of She-Hulk, which I feel is like probably the most well-known run. But Rainbow Rowell's run right now, I feel tonally is solid. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna see if I missed out the chat here.
I am going to wait till all the episodes air. Yeah, well, for me, it's like a nice weekly palate cleanser. I watch a lot of murder and psychological stuff, so it's nice to just not
of different material.
Yeah. Manny says his only problem was Bruce saying bruh. I mean, it's 2022. Bruh's gonna slip out. It's a little cringy, but I feel like this is my like a little slightly older uncle. He's allowed to say like, ugh, like, don't say that. Matthew is saying you had to push through the first couple episodes of Moon. And you know what, Matt? I was looking forward to Moon Knight the most. And then I saw the first episode and I said, oh, I'll catch this as a whole. And I have not went back. And Fabian said Squire, facts. Good morning, Comic Crack. Is it Comic Crack?
What up, Comic Crack?
Reborn. Sandman bonus episode. You know what? I've been trying to watch Sandman, like a dutiful wife. I've been trying. It's my husband's favorite IP. So I've been trying to watch it with him, but the problem is he works a lot. So I've been tempted to just finish it without him, but I haven't gotten too far into it yet. But I have enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I need to. I haven't watched Sandman yet. That's a show I'll definitely be like late to the party on. Not just because I'm definitely interested in it, but I've been trying, like I said, lately I've been trying to, with my free and spare time, and trying to read a little bit more than I was, because I was not reading at all, like in like June and July especially. So
Yeah, and I noticed on, you know what, you might be the first person I know who actually golfs.
oh, well,
Like not top
what an
top.
honor.
What's it called? What's it called? The place that people go to play golf for fun.
Oh, Top Golf.
Top. Oh, is it just called Top Golf? What a
Yeah,
name.
I know, like how freaking like creative.
We have one locally, but it doesn't have the golf thing. It's just the bar. And I'm like, why did you even make it?
So there's one about like 30 to 40 minutes away from where I'm at. It's So that basically is more just like a driving range where you just go, like you said, it's more of like a bar atmosphere setting where you have like your own like little kind of like section of the Top Golf to just basically hit balls out onto the driving range, like the open range. It's not like you're like going to play like a round of golf at a golf course. It's more for like a socializing, like, whether you're super into golf or like you've never done it before, that's kind of like a place that you just go hang out, grab food and drinks and just take turns whacking at some golf balls. But I've never been to the Top Golf. I'm more so just like a old man. I just like to go out to the golf course early in the morning.
Yeah. And I feel like since I've known you, I've seen like so many, like I've seen a few people who are like my age, your age, and that like golf before work. And I'm just like, that's a thing? Is that a suburban thing? But no, like it's just a thing for some people.
Yeah, so I got into it at a really young age. I was probably like 9 or 10 when I first kind of started getting into it, and then growing up in high school, I was a cool guy that was on the golf team in high school. But back, that was the early 2000s. I feel like a lot of people were just like, "Oh, golf, what a nerd, this, that, and the other." Now, all those said people, flash forward to like current times, are like beyond obsessed with golf. And it's just like, oh, funny, when I was 12, 13, 14, and because I wasn't on the football team or whatever, it was like, look at this geek over here. Now it's like all these guys are like obsessed with golf. Like, why didn't I play this when I was younger? It's like funny how that comes full circle. It was judging the book before you even opened the cover.
Yep. My second pick for Copper Drop is Minor Threats. This is Patton Oswalt's first creator-owned title with Dark Horse. And it's like about, hold on, because I don't want to read. Caught in the middle of this fight are small-time C-list villains finding it impossible to pull jobs or walk down the street without being harassed. There's a bounty on one of their heads. You're like, none of this makes sense. I know. It's fine. But listen, it sounds good. It's about C-list villains just trying to make a living. This has been in the makings for quite a while, from what I understand. And again, just another fun, the bad guys aren't necessarily the bad guys kind of story. But it piqued my interest.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Here your page is there. When does this come out?
They both come out on Wednesday.
Oh, okay, right on.
So what I'll do is I'll make a poll real fast. I said that like I know how to. So let me make a poll.
Do your thing.
Ask a question. Copper drop pick. Even gonna do all that. Like, it is what it is. Either way, I'm low key coming out the winner. So
it's a win-win. It's a win-win for you.
Yeah. And so next we have, let's just play the music. As you guys can tell by now, at this point in our friendship, I'm not the best at segueing into the next segment. Oh, 1 second. So let me remember how to do this properly. Phil, I don't want you to have a ratchet experience with this. Share screen.
No, not whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm sitting at a table I probably don't even belong at anyway, so this is all just,
one of those Mickey Mouse and Friends.
this
the foldable.
I should be at like the little play school, little tykes, like kids table here. I'm sitting at sitting at the adult table, so I'm just, soaking all this.
Oh, I thought you meant literally.
Oh, like actually,
yeah,
like
I thought
right
you
now.
were like actually sitting at
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I was yaying the calculated man, not my little Disney table
the
or
baby
nothing.
table. Okay.
Right. I'm weird, but I'm not that weird.
I mean, if that's segues really dying out quick. Listen, Fabian. I just abruptly cut to next.
Anywho,
not like rollerblades, Fabian. I was pretty adept at rollerblading when I was a kid. I did aggressive inline.
Oh, right on.
And I raced a lot. I have a lot of scars that my dad did not like. Those were the days. We were so, I'm not even gonna say broke. We were poor when I was growing up. And me and one of my neighbors, she's in the chat sometimes, Mars. At one point, like we both didn't have rollerblades, so we used to just each wear one.
Hey.
to race and stuff. So those were the days. But yeah, Phil and his weekend review of A Calculated Man.
Yeah, so for my couple of books, like I've stated a little earlier and probably a few times, sorry, I'm a broken record, but I've been doing a lot of catching up. So these are kind of more like my summer in review. I mean, they're current. I know that Calculated Man issue 2 came out a few weeks back now, but I've been big fan of issues 1 and 2. It's not just my bias towards Aftershock, but I do like Aftershock. I feel like they are always more hit than they are miss. Paul Tobin also wrote, or still currently writes, the second installment of Bunny Mask, which I'm a fan of the first volume, and now I think it's 3 issues into the second. But yeah, I mean, for those that have read Calculated Man, at least issue 1, if not 2, the main guy, Jack Beans, he is everything is math. And the title is very suiting for what actually goes on inside the story. He used to work for some crime family, crunching their numbers, so more or less like an accountant for them. And he wanted to get out of that life. And he literally every move he makes in life is mathematically thought out. He's like a probability and statistics, and any type of math. It literally all goes through his head. He knows the outcomes of things based on just like percentage. It's wild, but it's not like complicating at all to read like while you're reading it. But what's going on in the story is like he's basically figuring out a way to get back at or make it through life, leaving his past crime life behind him. He entered. It was either basically like enter a witness protection program and like change of name, or basically go to jail or probably end up being killed by said crime family. So he chose the witness protection. And through the 2 issues, I mean, it shows you it's not so much like it shows you like an origin. It's more like what's going on with his current life and all the loops and swoops that he's going through. But then it kind of shows like the agent that has been assigned Jack Beans, like basically his case since he entered the program is on the verge of retiring, the marshal. So the up and coming marshal that is being kind of informed of like the case that she's going to be taking on and who Jack Beans is. On this page you're shown right here at the bottom, it's sitting at the diner. So the bald guy with the beard, that's his soon to be former case handler, and then the lady sitting across the table is going to be taking over, and she just wants to know obviously everything she can about him. She has questions. It seems like she doesn't really believe what she's being told, but then once she actually meets Jack, she's like, oh, I mean, this guy's not lying. Like this guy is as advertised. He's very methodical. He's mysterious, all wrapped in one. And then it just kind of shows you he also has a kind of like a romantic side. And he's excuse me. He tries to or he goes on a few dates with a friend that he met via on the dating app of some sorts or something. And then one thing leads to another, and like so like they kind of like do like little like role playing like via texting with each other. And like so like she thinks that he's like just creating these fantasy stories of like him like having to like make a few kills, a few murders to in order for this to happen. And but so into her mind that's just like him role playing, but it's actual like factual things of what he's doing. So I know it's only going to probably be in issue 3, which I believe maybe this week, or if not this week, it's next week. But I'm pretty sure we're going to end up finding out, like, well, she'll find out as we read that what he's been telling her is all truth, and nothing behind what he's been telling her is like just like fantasy, made up, as far as like the kills and all the stuff going on. So, but yeah, the story. So I'm like rambling on, but it's really good read. There's a lot of content going on. If you're into the murder mystery type of like detective crime read, it's awesome. It's really good. Um, I would definitely recommend. And what's cool with Aftershock too is if I know not all CSs all LCSs may have these on the shelves, but you can always order directly through Aftershock's website. Um, you don't have to go out and like backtrack and go through some flipper that's going to try to sell it to you for $20 for an issue. Like you can just get it for cover from their website. But I would definitely recommend this, and it's one of my kind of current. I know it's only 2 issues in, but it's definitely one of my favorites ongoing right now for sure. Big fan of it.
And I haven't read the second issue, but I have read number 1, and they already announced that they're adapting it, and it very much reads like it would be a fun show.
Amen.
So
no doubt.
I'm excited for that, and and I do like all the scenes where they show him like how his mind works. So it's a nice little read. It's a quick read. It's fun. And then
it's cool because there's so much content, but like you said, it's a quick read, but there's like a lot of reading
for sure.
per page, but it's not like a 20-minute like issue read. Like it flows really well. It's just so far a really good story.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like super tropey either, because we've all read stories before where there's like this weird or awkward genius but no, he's very much fleshed out and doesn't feel like stereotypical or anything like that.
For sure.
And your next book was The Vineyard.
Ooh,
which I slipped up and called The Vineyard, but we won't talk about that.
It's all good. Tomato, right?
Yeah. Well.
Hey, I'm just giving you benefit of the doubt.
It's okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I know again, like with this one, this came out, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think it was now. But I just recently read it this past week. Another Aftershock title. Big fan of the first issue. Just kind of like to break it down. I believe I'm pronouncing this name correctly. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. But this family here lives and owns and operates a winery, like out they have their vineyards, however you want to say it. And so throughout time, in order for their vines to be what they are, they have to sacrifice to a like methodical being that is known as Dionysus. I could be saying that wrong. So in order for their vines to be as fruitious as they are, they need to make 4 sacrifices to Dionysus in a season for their harvest to be what it is, and for them basically to run their business. And the duties were always handled by the father, and the father had some form of, I believe it's a car accident that he was in, and he's now in a wheelchair and unable to perform the physical duties, which basically are sacrificing the 4 sacrifices that need to be made are basically murdering people and bringing them to Dionysus to have ways with said people's bodies. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the mother is put into off the rip, the mother, you see her trying to do what she can do for her family, as far as the sacrifices go, and she just seems to be at trouble in her mind, and physically she just does not think she can do it. It's not what she wants to do. But then their son steps in, and just takes over and um, carries out what the dad was doing, and making his father very proud. All in the same sense, while the mother's like, she enjoys herself a glass or bottle of wine. It's we get those vibes.
She's
And
a wine mom.
yes, for sure. And early in the book, you see her texting what ends up being who is her daughter. Her
Mm-hmm.
daughter doesn't live there. Her daughter moved away, just to get away from all things I just had mentioned above, as far as like having to make sacrifices to Dionysus,
Mm-hmm.
killing and this, that, and the other. Um, so towards the end of the issue, she reaches back out to her mom. Then we finally see the daughter in a few panels, um, talking to her mom, and basically saying like, "Mom, you don't have to be there if you don't want to. Like, I left because I didn't want to be there. Don't feel like you need to be there. Like, dad and brother are gonna do what they're gonna do. That's for them. It doesn't have to be for us. It wasn't for me, so I left. So please leave." And yeah, so there's my broken down synopsis
Mm-hmm.
of the. So going back to like the art, I
Mm-hmm.
think the art is awesome. Um,
That was a throwaway, Fabian. That was a good one. Vine mom. I should have said that.
right.
I should have said that, and I didn't. So, good one though.
But I was a big fan of the art in senses that it almost feels like some of the stuff is like watercolored. But there's just
Mm-hmm.
nothing's like really to me eye popping. I feel like everything of the panels and pages of the art in its own way just pops without it being like a highlighter pink or something like that. Where like even like when they show, just because I have, okay, I was really literally about to go to that page of the book, but you just popped it up so spot on. So even like right there, like just like the details, everything.
Mm-hmm.
That right there's the dad, obviously talking with the spirit in the tree of Dionysus.
Now,
Uh,
Dionysus, if you guys didn't know, is the god of wine harvest.
God, yes,
Also, Epiphany. So he is technically also known as the god that comes, because he comes not places on places in, but he comes to places. So
right,
little fun fact.
for
There's
sure.
also a very interesting uncomfortable panel in here where the dad is having a discussion with the son out by the tree, and the tree sometimes splits off with these vine ladies, or vin ladies if you will,
Hmm.
and one of them is like pleasuring the son right in front of the dad, and it's super hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, wrong person. Yeah. It got a little, a little weird.
She gets a little handsy in there.
Yeah.
Those Vine ladies, I tell you, they wine will make you feel a certain way, I suppose.
No, no, not the god of comes, the god that comes. Like he's he's appearing, he's on his way. So
I was really interested to see what was going to be in the comment section after you let us know the little side
yeah.
track of the honest.
Just a little, a little, and even going so far as saying he's technically, and I have always loved the wording of this, the god of religious ecstasy.
It's
So
intense,
however, whatever that does for you,
right?
it does it for you. He said Vincest.
Vince,
Oh, and and I'm like, is she drinking because she has to do these things, or is she drinking because it's like I have to share my husband and my son with these vine ladies, and
right?
and my daughter doesn't even want to be here and she bounced. So it's a lot of family drama, a lot of branch drama. Like, at what point is the dad gonna be like, hey, hands off my ladies? So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I literally think it's all the above.
Yeah.
Like of why mom is just, seen multiple times pouring glasses of wine, and then like the whole her mom the mom has a friend that's like all about the son,
Yes. Yeah.
and obviously towards the end of the issue that's kind of how it ends is you can tell that she's going to be one of the next people to be sacrificed.
Hmm.
And I thought that was pretty cool how we saw that like kind of earlier in the issue, and then they like it full circle comes back into like, oh, so about your son, and then he just shows up on the doorstep and catches her by surprise, and she's like she's ready.
Yeah.
Like
So lots of weird, not, I wouldn't even say weird. I feel like in stories, especially dealing with like gods and sacrifice, there's always some like weird dynamic with family.
yep.
And so there's definitely some like suppressed sexual energy in this family that is peeking out in ways that may not be the most palatable. Uh-oh. So I guess I clicked it on accident. I guess we're talking about above snakes now.
We had to get off that book because it was just starting to get things were getting a little heated up
there. So above snakes, number 2.
So above snakes. Real quick, is that like a cover B?
Mm-hmm.
That's a super dope cover as well. So yeah, above snakes, another me backtracking, getting caught up type issue. Actually, I think this just came out like a week, if not max like 2 weeks ago, but it may have been from last week.
No,
regardless,
it's current. It's the current issue. It's this past week.
I would say this past. Okay, so finally I followed the assignment and am reviewing something that is of last week and not like last month.
Yeah.
So far through 2 issues, I'm a big fan of this series as well. This is more kind of like a revenge type of feel story set place in like I always refer to as the cowboy era. There's Dr. Tomb, but it kind of gives me like when you first open up and start reading. Did you read Coffin Bound a few years back?
I didn't, but I know what it is.
No, it is. Okay, I kind of got the Coffin Bound, which was, I want to misrepresent the publisher. I think that may have been an Image title. I could be totally wrong. Coffin Bound was really cool, but similar vibes. Out so far, like in like deserted island, deserted desert islands, like out in the middle of nowhere desert type of vibes. Where you just have like our main character. Our main character's got this. I could be wrong, but I'm not assuming just yet. But his bird, his friend Speck, that is kind of like his hype man, is kind of like almost like the Robin to his Batman. But our main guy Dirt is just on a quest now to basically. So Above Snakes is basically a gang of bad people, and they are responsible for the death of our main character Dirt. He was married to his childhood love Dorothea, and the only kind of information through 2 issues we get so far of Dorothea, besides her being killed by the Above Snakes gang, is a flashback scene back when they were like both 12 years old, and how they were just kind of out by like by the pond area, and they were talking like, there we go, spot on.
I try.
Well, hey, it's like you are like in my brain just plucking out these panels as I'm picturing them. But yeah, so that's kind of like the only so far exposure or visuals that we get of his now deceased wife Dorothea. Is back when how she was basically saying like, we are going to get married, the love, this, that, and the other. And we flash back or fast forward to current times, and our man Dirt is kind of caught because there's another not hunt. Well, I guess you could refer to her as a hunter too, because she's out trying to avenge and get justice for her father's killers. Her name is Annie, and Annie Annie has a like a little liking to our main guy Dirt, and she's always dressed kind of like in a manly cowboy manner. But when she asks him out on a date in front of all the other drunkards, and when he agrees to the terms of spending some time with her, when she shows up, she's dressed completely different, way more, lady-like than he's like used to seeing her. She's usually donning like a cowboy hat, the whole get up, and now she shows up in like a dress and all stuff, and he's kind of taken back by it. And then Spec kind of gets in his ears and is just like, be careful because, one thing could lead to another. You don't want to help her find her. Like if you are gonna go help her find her father's killer, and then next thing you know, there might be expectation from her standpoint, like because he's out trying to avenge Dorothea. If he gets caught up in the middle of falling in love or gaining more of a love for Annie, it's going to be kind of like contradicting what his mission is about going about avenging his then ex, his now ex, or his widowed self. So it's really cool. I like this book. It's pretty I don't want to say basic read, but it's just straight to the point. You just go along with Dirt and Spec on their routes. In the let me see, 'cause I have issue 2. I have both here, but issue 2's out. So yeah, in issue 2, that's like, so they find Annie's father's killer. His name is Sue, and he's back in town, and he's trying to go by a different name because he knows people. He's a wanted, sought out after man. And while they're on their date, they hear his name being referenced, and they go down. She is all gung ho and she's gonna do it, and then she finds out that her dad. So like this, a lot of people in this area are under the influence. They're all basically kind of like on the sauce, as they call it. The opening pages of both issue 1 and 2 is Dr. Tomb, the funky looking guy with like the big bird looking suit on, and how he has these bottles of sauce that like basically that it's like a town full of junkies. These people are just on the sauce, and we find out that Annie's father was a junkie himself, and he owed Sue and other above gang members some money of some sort, or he was definitely in debt with the wrong people, and he basically she finds out that her dad basically was willing to give her away in order to pay his debts off, type of thing. So it takes a plot twist, and then she goes from being this badass who's gonna pull the trigger on this guy to being emotional. And Dirt's just like, hey, this isn't who you are. I'm the bad guy. I'm not a bad guy, but I'm the killer. You're not a killer. Let me just do this for you. And he just knows after that point that they can't be, really together. Knowing like she doesn't want, now that Dirt and Spec know what happened and why her dad was killed and what he was willing to sacrifice, his own child for drugs, basically. She doesn't think that that would be a good foundation of information to have your significant other know about you. So that's kind of the end of their quick little romance in this book. And then as this issue ends, we go on to they give you kind of like a quick little, kind of flip to the back page here. So it says for issue 3 coming out that Spec feels the call, Dirt plays the wingman, and someone gets punched. This issue is on sale middle of September. So it's a fun read.
And I don't have the image, but Hassan is doing the cover for number 3, and it's all lettering bubbles, and it's like one of the coolest covers I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the I added this to my poll, so I haven't seen the image for the cover for issue 3 yet. The only thing is obviously that's just like kind of like the quick take on issue 3, but I'm sure that's obviously not going to be the cover.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Not my stomach growling.
This is definitely, so yeah. The creative team, Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman, also did that story Thumbs from a few years back, which is had some Steam pickup on it recently. I think it was another one of those titles that may have been picked up or optioned for film or for a series of some sorts. But yeah, this obviously I know you have for the audience to see, but just the interior art on this too, it's very vivid. It's really good art. It's unique. For those that have read Coffin Bound, I feel like if you haven't picked this up yet, and if you like the Coffin Bound, I would definitely recommend. It's very Coffin Bound type of interior illustrations and art and coloring. Like
Here's
It's
the number 3 cover.
Oh, right on. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That is super cool. I'm like just literally like trying to read every bubble as we're sitting here, but let me get my face out of the screen here. But yeah, I definitely enjoy this as well. Nothing but so far through 2 issues, just a good. There, it's a quick read. Both issues 1 and 2 are quick reads, but there's enough content and detail in them to not feel like how I felt after reading The Mandalorian issue 2. But I'll digress on
Yeah.
that. Let me give my man Rodney Barnes a little leeway just because I
Oh,
feel like if
I for sure had number 1 in my top a couple weeks ago, or whenever the first issue dropped. Excellent. I loved it, and I'm not. I'd be like, I don't like fantasy. I don't like westerns, but this is, even with this being low key like a mashup kind of, in certain aspects, I thought it was an excellent first issue.
yeah,
I enjoyed the second issue as well. I think it's like I'm like Hayden Sherman is on one right now too though. Dark Spaces, this Blink, like he's on a roll right now, and so anything I see his name attached to now, I'm into it
for sure. The only thing, my only gripe, and I've had this gripe with Image, is they tend to at the end of each title of any story, they have so many leftover pages of just advertisements, this, that, and the other, where it's like you could have thrown another 2 to 4 pages of story of material, like, whereas my bias self towards like Aftershock, you and I have talked about Scout off the record, but like even like the more indie publishers, like you just get content from first page to the end page, not all these not multiple pages of other stories that are being released by that said public, which I get it, whatever, that's how they make theirs, whatever, but there was literally 8 pages, at least in issue 2. I'll say they had like a little like sketch, and like they throw in like these like little layouts, and then like kind of like the fan mail about how they felt about issue 1. But there's 6 to 8 pages of just like advertisements. We have the internet. Anything we look at nowadays is an advertisement. We don't need advertisements in our paper anymore.
And you know what? I think that's what separates it from being like being technically allowed to ship comics as media mail, is the advertisements. If they didn't have any advertisements in them, then it would be considered media mail. But because they have so many advertisements advertising other things, then it makes it not count as educational material. Like it doesn't count as a book or anything like that because of the promotional images. But I get it. Like, and also I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm like super big into nostalgia, and things that like are comforting to me are commercials and print ads. So like I'm like not gonna pay for the commercial free version of Hulu because I enjoy a good commercial every now and then. And in comic books, I like the unexpected ads, but like I noticed like with the big 2, you're gonna have like a like a bigger product, branded thing in there. But with the indies, it's usually like advertising other books and stuff, like, which is cool. But I like the random ass like drink milk advertisement. So
dude, that is so wild. I was literally just going to say like got like the old school like got milk, and it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin with like a milk mustache. That's so wild that you just said that, for real. That's crazy. I'm telling you, you are controlling my mind.
Those are so I and like it, and it's like has nothing to do with nothing, and it's just like I love those like PSA ads and stuff. And so, but yeah, they're not as exciting in modern times. You're not going to see like scrambled eggs and these are your brain on drugs, and those aren't in comic books anymore, unfortunately.
No, they're not. No more of the jewelers inserted in the middle of the book. Like the how you used to be able to order like jewelry and stuff like in the comics.
Oh wait, Marvel was it Marvel or DC? One of them on like the back pages, like in the last couple years, they had like a bougie ass watch they were advertising, and I thought it was funny because I'm like, I haven't seen a watch advertisement in 57
Long,
years.
right, long before we were around, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, like 57. I'm only 16 probably, so I mean, probably so. What are my books? You know, more of the same for me. Do a power bomb. Speaking of wrestlers,
Hell yeah.
do a power bomb number 3. I don't have much to add to what I've already said about do a power bomb. It's super fun. You know, there's been some revelations. I will say at the end of the first book, I was a little weepy. End of the second book, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And now this one was like, it was pretty. I was like, okay, we're in a groove now. So it is like a tournament style, you know, story where Cobra and Cobra Sun and Steel Rose, they're like, they have to team up and they're allowed to bring back one person back to life if they win. And they both agree that they'll bring back her mom because that's her mom, you know, and that's the person responsible inadvertently for the death of her mom because they were in a match and she ended up passing away from a move that was done. And so there's a lot of guilt. He feels a lot of guilt, and there's some like secret identity stuff involved in that situation too. But my favorite part about this series probably is that in this like hellscape where they're transported to, they're from Earth, the two protagonists, but everybody else is from other places. And on Earth, wrestling is not real, right? Like it's scripted, it's entertainment, sports entertainment. But everywhere else, wrestling is very much real. So like they're like, how are we supposed to like, you know, wrestle these people for real? Like some people wrestling to the death, and it's like we've only ever, you know, just gone through the you know, the routine, you know, it's like a choreography.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny because every time they bring it up, like wrestling isn't real, everybody else just kind of brushes them off like, you're real funny, like why would you say stuff like that? And so everybody else in the world takes wrestling, or in the universe or alternate universes, they take wrestling very seriously. And it's like the soccer, I guess, of the world, because I guess what soccer is like probably the biggest sport
Yeah.
universally played. I just thought this panel was funny because this guy was about to punch the puppy, and he said puppy punch, and she's like, who the hell punches a puppy? And when I read it too, I was like, why was he gonna punch the puppy? Like,
right.
He's like, and it was funny because the owner is like, we're still training him, and he's like, I don't care. Like, and I was like, this is funny. Rey Mysterio killed somebody. And you know what? There's like a lot of nuances that go into that too, which is in also in the book, like the weight of responsibility, because it's never intentional unless it is intentional. But in these circumstances, it wasn't, you know, intentional. And what's the fallout from that emotionally of something that was rehearsed not going according to plan? And I'll say I'm not a big wrestling watcher anymore, but when I was a kid, the Attitude Era, I was all about
Amen.
it. And this
Amen.
is like super exciting. Like the pages are this is like the tournament setup. And it's so funny. They're like, yeah, you're going up against orangutan. And then it turns out they're actual like orangutans. And I was like, what the heck? And then there's a tag team called Pizza Party, and like one of their finishing moves, and it's like a rat and a pizza god kind of, and like one of their moves like brings out like giant slices of pizza. So it's just like a really fun, ridiculous and then I think I have one more. Yeah. So it's like her doing the moonsault for the first time. It's just a really fun, cool story. This one was more action than Revelations, but it still made my top. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. Seems super cool.
Yeah, I would recommend. And again, you don't have to know anything about wrestling. You don't have to like wrestling. It's just a solid tournament style story. Whereas the video that would be because some of these characters, man, I'm telling you, it's a trip. And then my second pick is Dark Spaces Wildfire #2. Again, Hayden Sherman. We were just talking about him, and it was funny because I was like, I loved Above Snakes. I love Hayden Sherman, but Scott Snyder. Let me tell you, Scott Snyder. This guy knows how to write a story, huh? They should give him more work. And he's like on every book this year, but also like well deserved, because when I tell you I was not, this #1 also made my top, and it's about I don't know, have you read it?
I have not, no.
So it's about this like group of fire workers, you know, the forestry programs in California where they have inmates fighting fires. Slave labor, let's be real. They get paid $2 a day to do the same level of work that professionals are doing. And then when they get out of jail, are they given the same opportunities? No. So so yeah, I mean, that's
you ain't lying. Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah.
And then what makes it even worse is like you're really convincing, you know, these individuals that like there's a possibility, there's a chance, and it's like and I've talked about this before with, you know, his consent. My little brother, not Matthew, the one in the chats, my brother who doesn't come on here, you know, he was in the forestry program, and you know, very cool, like he was very excited. You know, it's for non-violent offenders. You know, you get an opportunity to, you know, stay in a camp instead of being in the actual prison compound. And, you know, you're fighting fires and, you know, putting yourself on the line just the same amount as the people getting paid actual salaries are, but for up to $2 a day. And then when you get released, it's like you've learned this trade, but it's a trade you can't use, because are they going to hire you, or are they going to hire the people who, you know, have formal training, even though you have the same training, just happen to, you know, go down during incarceration.
Right.
So it's, you know, the system is set up for you to fail. Let's be real. There's no true rehabilitation, you know, if I'm going to stand on my soapbox right now. But yeah, so basically that's what this story is about too, because, you know, you have Ma, she's the CO who's in charge of this group of women who, the newest member of the brigade is a woman who's in jail for the most amount of time ever given for embezzlement. And basically she was, it's generally believed that she's just a scapegoat. And so these powerful men behind this company embezzled millions and millions of dollars, and she took the fall for it. And so she comes up with this plan like, oh, like my boss's house is actually in the hills, and he has a safe with a crypto account that is only accessible in the safe. So if we can, you know, get into the house then, and, you know, Ma, she's very on the straight and narrow. She's very much, she's cool, but don't try me. You know what I mean? Like we could, and so them presenting her, she overhears them talking about this plan, and she wrestles with it because there's still some unknown things about her, but we do know that she's probably dying, or on her way out with like lung cancer or something like that. And so that we do know that about her, but we also know, based on context clues, photographs, how she lives, she's basically a hermit outside of her work. And we kind of get the sense that she has a daughter or had a daughter in a family and something happened traumatically. And so, but we don't know all of that yet. We just know that at this point, she's willing to give these women a second chance because she knows they won't get one outside once they get released. Like she knows that, oh, one of them's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay clean after I get out, and she's like, not without help, like not without money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like her like attempt, I guess, at helping people when she couldn't help the people around her. And so there's a lot of cool paneling in this book. Hayden Sherman with the color palette is phenomenal, and I will say super stressful, but good. Like, and I guess that's like my theme this week is just being stressed out. There's about to be a fall show with this setup too. I'll have to look into that because it's like the setup Snyder is fantastic. Yeah, it's a really good book. I definitely recommend it. It's very much like a heist setup, but it's visually like Hayden Sherman, you know, knocks it out of the park. And there is like big aha moments like in each issue so far. And the way they worded it, dark spaces, wildfire, I'm curious if like the series is going to continue after this with like a different theme or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking of myself.
So, but yeah, this was another really good one. And then my, I mean, it's let's be real, it's not a week without a Batman, without a Batman book for me. So
Agreed. Oh, hey, I'm right there with you. I agree. Batman's the OG.
yeah, Batman, One Bad Day, The Riddler. No, number one is a stretch. They didn't have to put that because these are all one shots in the same you know, universe. I think the next one is Two-Face, and then there's Penguin, Bane, and a few other ones with different creative teams. I feel like it was almost not fair to have King and Gerard's on the first issue, because how can you top that duo in story and visually? And this is probably one of the most pretty books I've read this year so far, and it was a big one. It was 64 pages, and basically the Riddler is like, y'all are not fucking with me no more. He was like, if you touch me, if you look at me funny, he's like, I'm done joking. And so I'm done not being taken seriously. So he will kill one random person anytime he feels he's being encroached upon. And then there's like a lot of like school ties-ish flashbacks to kind of show like what made him get to the point he's at now. Like his dad was very much if you don't do it right the first time, or you don't get a 100 on this test, it's a wrap. And he was very abusive. Like he already knew, like even if he felt like he might have done something wrong, he's in the office already, you know, bent over, ready for that whooping. And yeah, it was a really good. Almost felt bad for Edward. Yeah, and it's and again, I think there's always like that separation of emotion when it comes to like wealthy children getting punished versus like, right, because I'm still like, okay, but you had dinner that night, right? But no, he's he was like, you know, he was, but also it's also that entitlement thing too, because it's like, okay, you had a bad relationship with your dad, or he pushed you too hard, and now you're basically an incel. You know what I mean? Like that can't be your reason for you being a bad person. But in his head, I don't think he necessarily now the Batman in this book is absolutely John Hamm, and I purposely decided to not include pictures because it's a little off-putting. But we barely see Bruce in this, and honestly, I feel like these One Bad Day one shots would make a fantastic visual series. But I think people are so caught up and obsessed with the idea of certain people playing certain roles. But I think even with like the different creative teams, it would be so cool to have like a series, an anthology series where like the different actors play the different roles in each episode. So the Batman from this one isn't the Batman from the next one, because I feel like how the Batmans are depicted in each one are so unique to the story that I think that would be cool, but people aren't ready for that. People are haters. And then we have a situation where Gordon is like, this is what's gonna happen, and Edward is like, no, like, I know all of your family's information. I know, this person is here and blah blah blah, and the guards get paranoid and they end up killing each other, and because they're so caught up in the idea that in the unknown, in the uncertainty. So like, he says he's done playing games and done making riddles, but even that is a riddle. And so it was a really good solid ass book, both visually and in reading, and you're gonna see characters go places that we haven't necessarily seen them go before. But I really thoroughly enjoyed how Riddler was depicted in this, and just the balls he had, to be honest. Like, he got real ballsy in this one, and it was interesting.
I definitely will probably pick this up on Wednesday. I know obviously it's already out, but I looked at it and I was like, I already had like a decent stack of my polls, but there was plenty of copies that my shop had, so I thought to pick this up. I figured it was going to be, that didn't really even have a chance of being good or bad. It was definitely going to be a good book. So
yeah, my problem is that they invoke a lot of sympathy for murderers. Yeah, and I think with this one, like, the attempt is made purposefully to kind of make you like maybe feel bad for Edward at some point, but it's very clear that he's like a sniveling, piece of shit. So it's kind of like, I don't think this one glorified childhood trauma as a means for violence later on. I felt like it very much made the point that, like, these are how monsters are made, but sometimes like, a monster is just a monster. And Edward, I don't think, and they did like a really cool thing where they talked about him killing his mom, and his motivation. And I think even just for that one little tidbit of information, of story, this is worth the read, because it was so well done. It was so well, the dialogue was so well written in that exchange. Like, it was phenomenal. He definitely didn't have to share rollerblades. Yes, absolutely. Nature versus nurture story. Because you do have them coming from similar backgrounds. Bruce and Edward are both, entitled, one more than the other, but also when you have two people at each other that are at that level of wealth, it's kind of silly. And they kind of, lean into that, like, it's like, I know who you are, and it's like, yeah, I know who you are. Like, no, you don't. And it's like, you kind of both know who each other are, like, and your motivations and stuff. So for sure, it was a good read. I liked it.
for sure, it looks. Like I said, I didn't have a doubt. I didn't pick it up yet, but I just was like, yeah, that's probably going to be pretty bad. I did not know that it was. So you said like going forward, they're going to have obviously they're one shots, but it's going to be like next line's Two-Face, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, each issue is a different team and a different. I think, I don't know if it's either everything happens on this one day or if it's called One Bad Day. Like, this is their, like, this was their breaking point. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Right. Well, I just find it kind of interesting because I think it was in the Killing Joke when it shows the Joker, like all it took was one bad day for him to have that transpired in him into becoming the villain that he obviously is. So like I
Mm-hmm.
found that kind of interesting that it was like that the main titles of these are, Batman, One Bad Day, and then obviously it's going to be on someone else. But like I wonder if that One Bad Day is inspired by the One Bad Day that the Joker. I'm interested to also see if the Joker is going to be included in these, or if
I hear it, yeah.
if he already gets enough love and stuff. So it's kind of what they're doing one shots for a bunch of villains. That's pretty cool. So
And
See what they're
then
doing.
if you
I see what they're
wanted
doing
to,
there.
real quick, I do have some books from this previews to just real quick.
No, yeah, for sure.
Because you know my sugar is getting low, I feel. You're like, what? Shut up. I'll be hungry. Hold on. You know what it is? It's like I wake up early for the show, and so by the time like halfway through the show, I'm like, dang, I probably should have eaten breakfast or something.
You played yourself.
I played myself. So we have these are new series announced in this latest issue of previews in the previews catalog. And this is Behold Behemoth #1, Tate Brombal and Nick Robles. And the A is Robles. The B on the right side is the Jeff Lemire cover.
My man.
Lemire? It's Lemire, huh?
Yeah.
And this one is about a guy, Grayson. His brother suddenly dies in a mysterious manner. And he's shaken to the core when his newest case, I guess what is he, a cop or something? You're like, maybe you should have read before. He's shaken to the core when his newest case, a young orphan girl, is found at the scene of a brutal murder just hours after meeting. The line between nightmare and waking life blurs as Grayson discovers that the monster from his dreams might be a real, mythical, ancient beast that is bringing about the end of the world, with connections to him and Ren, the girl. So this is his first original series, Tate Brombal from House of Slaughter.
Okay, yeah, right on.
Yeah. So I'm into it. I didn't even need to read past that when I saw it. It said boom, it said Tate. I said I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Lemire is one of my like end all be alls. He's like on my Mount Rushmore of comic content creators and stuff, but that cover of his is really, really rad. But that cover A is also badass.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what it's gonna look like with the trade, because it can with the trade dressing, because it can make or break it. But that Lemire, if there's a virgin, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, for sure. Right on. I'm about to jot that down. Behold Behemoth. Right on. Yeah.
Behold
Mike, you ain't lying.
Oh, he did a Black Hammer spinner. Okay, I didn't. You know what? And that's like a series that I'm always like, I should get into it, but then I feel like there's so much.
There is.
Like content from that to get into that I get. I'm like, I don't know. Get a little nervous.
Yeah, that's Jeff Lemire's like world is the Black Hammer. I've never got into it. I'm all about Jeff Lemire. I pick up everything he does, but I just never, like you said, it's so far into it now that it's like, there's so much catching up to do in the Black Hammer universe.
Yeah. This one shocked me, and I'll tell you why. Months and 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 months ago, I backed a Kickstarter for a book called The Atonement Bell, and I have not heard nothing about it since. And so when I saw this in previews, I said, you know what? If this book comes out to retail before I get my Kickstarter copy, I'm gonna be irritated. So this one is about months after a brutal tragedy, young Jake and his mother travel to St. Louis to visit their estranged family during the holidays. Soon, Jake, his cousin, and their friend Sarah must fight for their lives when they discover the truth about the city's devastating secret past. So I think this is, again, one that is kind of like a thing on, obviously, given the title, church and, the demonic ties, possibly. But yeah, this one was like, I saw this. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of scuffed. I said, "What? What are you doing in here?" And Red 5 is pretty consistent, so I believe that this title will actually come out. But also, y'all, where's my book?
Right.
It's been some time now. Let's get that out. And then
that's just cold.
And then next we have Door to Door, Night by Night of Vault Comics. And this is about traveling salesmen. Well, are they traveling salesmen? Yeah. A motley crew during the battle against supernatural evil throughout the American South. Heritage Mills sales team travels from town to town, knocking on doors. They're the best at what they do, which means they're the worst. And I got that because, listen, do what you need to do to support your family, but salespeople are the worst. They're broken. When they discover a terrible secret behind one fateful door, it opens their eyes to a world full of real monsters hidden in every small town. I think this is one of like 500 books Cullen Bunn is coming out with this fall. And this is under the Nightfall imprint or, branding of Vault Comics. And Sally Cantorino is in it and is doing the art. And I love her from I Walk with Monsters and Human Remains. So I'm super, super into it. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, let me. You actually have a Lemire tattoo, huh?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Show do.
It's of Lemire.
It's actually a portrait of him.
It's a portrait from when he was 19.
Yeah.
Just a random.
It's like a portrait of he's posed like this.
Yeah. Another book that I found that I thought sounded fun was Gangster Ass Barista.
Nice.
And this is about a barista that was once a gangster and she's trying to get out of that lifestyle, but she's finding it hard to. This is Black Mask. And Pat Shand, which he does Destiny New York, and I just backed his he had a Kickstarter called what was it called? Cheeky. He does
Cheeky?
the erotic it's like a bunch of erotic shorts or something. But I guess I would assume focusing on the ass. But
yeah,
it sounded fun. I was like, yeah, cheeky. I'm so I never changed the banners. You got to be on that. Now this one I feel like you might be into, and I don't want to assume anything about you personally, but I mean,
cue it up.
I just so this one is called Plush, and it is about plush. It's about furries, and it's about so it's Doug Wagner, first of all. So there's already like that level of expectation of weirdness.
Sure.
I think with Plastic, I went into reading Plastic without knowing anything about it, the synopsis or anything. Mm-hmm. And I that was probably the first comic in a long time where I was like, what the fuck? Like I put it down and I said, what was that? That was weird, but like in the best way possible. And then Vinyl more recently was fantastic. And then this one, I just saw an article titled too. I just saw an article that was like furry, conservative furry, like afraid of like his religious freedom being hinged upon or something. I was like, what is happening? You're like, that was probably an Onion article, probably, but it was funny. So in Plush, we have Devin Fulcher. He's coerced into attending his first furry convention when he accidentally happens upon a group of furries devouring a human. The insanity begins. Do they just want him for dinner or something much more wicked? And I'm obsessed with this B cover, the Tony Fleeks one, because it just seems like it's so innocent and cute, and it's just like furries, cannibalism.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all of the titles I've announced thus far, this is probably the one I'm most looking forward to.
Okay.
For sure. And then we have Specs, which is David Boer. He just did. What did he just do? Is he the one who did Rain?
I don't know. He wasn't on Rain. Rain was
that Daniel Warren Johnson? No. Oh no, he did.
Rain?
Yeah, no. David, he did Killer Queens, Firefly. He did Rain, Kanto,
Really?
Kanto. Yeah. Well, it was like a Joe Hill, and then
yeah.
And then he adapted it.
Well, then I stand corrected.
Yeah. Joe Hill was credited first because he wrote the short story.
Yeah.
And then David Boer adapted it too.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Specs is Chris Sheehan on art, who I'm obsessed with, and David Boer. And this is about what happens when a couple of misfit teens mail order a pair of X-ray glasses and realize they've received much more than they bargained for. Again, it just sounds fun.
yeah, for sure.
It kind of reminds me of like Goosebumps or like a Fear Street story. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Something's just fun like that.
Who's this published by?
The publisher.
Boom. Oh, it's Boom.
Yeah. And so this A cover too, Skylar Patridge. I love her. I love her work. And you got the David Tulaski cover. There are other covers, I believe, but these were the two. This was the A and then the B. So I just. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of that A cover. Yeah, her work is so dope. Like, there's been a few books where I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but she did like the exclusive covers for it, and I just okay, but I'm getting this on Vibes alone.
For sure, straight cover buy.
And then my last pick that I found from the previews was it's called Two Graves, and this one I thought sounded the most interesting probably because you have Death and the Maiden, and it's alternating. So the A cover is by one of the artists, Ming Doyle, and then the other cover is by the other artist, Annie Wu, and it's alternating perspectives on this road trip where nobody gets out alive because you have Death and the Maiden. So it's alternating perspectives. One writer alternating art from the perspective of Death and the Maidens. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And probably the most interesting premise I saw, and just in terms of it being stylized. So and I like that different perspectives thing. And I like that it's one author with two different artists, because sometimes I feel like when you have the two authors on one, I get that you're trying to have different perspectives, but I feel like sometimes that gets lost in translation. So I like that it's one author and two artists, because then it's like you're telling one cohesive story because they're in the same space at the same time, in a car. So like there's room for us to have different perspectives of what's happening, but it's all still very much the same. So I like that they did it that way.
That is pretty cool.
Plus reminds me of I Hate Fairyland, which is also getting a re-release in November. I Hate Fairyland. So yeah, that was all I had. I just click end.
Right. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Till next time.
So yeah, that's the show. We had some technical issues.
What are you talking about? Everything went
smoothly. So yeah, do you have anything?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, like I remember I mentioned to you yesterday, it's gonna be like an hour and a half, 2 hours of. It seemed like it went by in 20 minutes, and we're almost at 2 hours, and time flew, which is a good sign. Means that we had a good time, or at least I'll speak from my standpoint.
Mhm.
It was an honor and everything all under the sun. It was a good time, and I'm definitely thankful and grateful that you allowed me to grace my presence on your wonderful show that is the House of Nerd.
Mhm. And you know, I do believe in affirmative action, so it was my honor to have you on to bounce. No, I'm just kidding. Giving everybody a voice to those who usually don't have voices.
Yeah.
The disenfranchised.
Yeah,
No,
Elle,
it
you're an
was
awesome
fun. It
person.
was a
So
good time.
yeah, much appreciated. And like I said, it was an honor to be here. So the rest of the day now we're just all just gonna go like this.
Yeah.
This was definitely the top of the mountain for the day for sure.
And you know, for me, it's like, let me find some eggs and watch 90 Day Fiance time in secret. In secret. Nobody heard that, but that's what I do. I'm like, I psych myself up for the show, and then it's like I know at the end of it, it's 90 Day Fiance time.
Yeah, for me it's gonna be read a few more books, try to get more in tune and more
Not you being educated.
caught up on some current titles here. So
You said I'm gonna go be a learned golfer while you watch 90 Day Fiance in bed. No, it is.
right.
No, absolutely. It's wine. It's time for some wine and it's time for some breakfast. In that order.
Well, wine is almost like a meal, so it's like,
Well, you gotta have your fruit with, it's
exactly.
Sunday, it's brunch day, yeah.
It's Sunday fun day.
Oh, and Eagles play today. Football.
Air and water show. All right. Well, see, it's all weekend here.
Wine
It's
is
been.
breakfast, yeah.
See, exactly,
Like
Manny.
I'm gonna be drinking my wine in my bed with my breakfast and watching Manny's TikToks.
There you go.
Watching Manny be productive in life.
Multitasking you're about to be.
Yeah. All
But
right,
yeah, I mean,
guys.
thanks for everyone that showed up and dropped comments and hung out. It like I said, 2 hours that felt like about a half an hour. So
Yeah,
again,
and who knows? He'll be on the show next week. Who knows?
right.
It might be a ghost host. It might be us. It might. Who knows? It's a dice roll at this point. Is that a saying? I feel.
It's a roll of the dice.
Okay.
A dice roll, for lack of better terms. Yeah, same difference.
Okay. I don't know how to end this. Hold on. I think there's an outro.
City boy.
City boy.
City boy.
Hell yes.